Welcome to video 2. Here we're going to be talking about the second aspect of the apostrophe, which is contraction. If you haven't watched the first video, if you're worried about what's contraction, what's possession, make sure you watch the video number 1. I'm going to link it up here, and if you have done that, let's proceed together. I'm Kat Severson. I'm the inventor of the Severson method, a scientifically proven way to learn anything fast, including the contraction aspect of apostrophes for the SAT. If you remember from video 1, we discussed how an apostrophe can denote a possession of something. And as an example, we used the cover of a calculator. Calculator's cover, because the cover belongs to the calculator. Now, the apostrophe can also mean a contraction. For example, the cat is flying on the broom. We can also write it down as cat apostrophe s flying on the broom. Contracting is into apostrophe s. What is even more confusing is that when it comes to pronouns, and if you guys don't know what pronouns are, definitely watch my video about the subject where I go into discussion of pronouns at length. With pronouns, possession is showed without the apostrophe. So if you wanted to say that this cover belongs to the calculator, you're not going to say it apostrophe s cover, because calculator is it. We're not going to say its cover with an apostrophe. We're going to say its cover without an apostrophe. So when it comes to pronouns, words that point to the subject, it's the other way around. So the apostrophe shows contraction when it comes to pronouns, and the lack of apostrophe shows possession. Let me explain what I mean. When you have it apostrophe s, it means it is. When you have they apostrophe re, are, that means they are. You can look at the list. Who apostrophe s means who is. That apostrophe s means that is. He apostrophe s means he is. If you wanted to say that it belongs to it, you're going to say its. If you wanted to say that it belongs to them, you can say their. If you wanted to say that it belongs to who, you're going to say whose. If you wanted to say that it belongs to that, you're going to say that's. If you wanted to say that it belongs to he, we're going to say his. No apostrophe needed. Really have it synced in. Apostrophes with pronouns do not mean possession. Apostrophes with pronouns mean a contraction. Let's do a few examples. Pause the video, try it by yourself. Here we have a pronoun. What is this pronoun pointing to? It's pointing to the weight and the bulk of the fossils, as well as preciousness and fragility. Is it pointing to the weight and the bulk, or is it pointing to fossils? It's pointing to fossils. So fossils are plural, therefore it cannot be its preciousness. Fossils, there. But which there are we going to choose? Are we going to choose C or D? We're going to choose C, there, because that is a possessive pronoun. And D, there, means a location. It's over there. Really have an understanding of this. And this is question number 1 from one of the recent SATs. Benjamin Banneker, a time when a few people owned clocks, let alone understood their mechanics. What is this pronoun pointing to? It's pointing to the clocks, and the clocks are singular or plural? Clocks are plural, so we're going to say there. Exactly the same answer choice that we had before. There, there. Answer choice is B. Remember the difference between C and D. It's in C means it is, and it's in D means something belonging to it. Its cover. Next. This one's pretty complicated, so I want you to spend some time here. what is this pronoun pointing to? The pronoun is pointing to Johnson's dictionary. A long, laborious journey from planning to publication, however, Johnson's dictionary had become a book with more humble ambitions, one that no longer aspired to preserve the purity of the language. One is another pronoun here that points to the Johnson's dictionary, and here, along one's laborious journey. Whose laborious journey? The dictionaries. And the dictionary, how would we describe it if we use the pronoun? We would say it. So along its laborious journey. Which its are we going to choose? Are we going to choose C or D? We're going to choose D because C means it is. Try this one. While vertical farming techniques are much more efficient in use of water, the pronoun, what is it pointing to? What's its antecedent? Antecedent means what comes before. What is this pronoun mapping to? This pronoun is mapping to farming techniques. In farming techniques, if we were to describe it as a pronoun, we would say they. They, and sufficient in their use. So it's going to be answer choice D, there. This one has two little components to this. It has the possessive and the contraction, 2 and 1, like head and shoulders. Italy's Tower of Pisa has been leaning southward since the initial stages of its construction over 800 years ago. In your answer choices, you have stage apostrophe S twice, and then you have it apostrophe S, which means it is. Which one do you think it is? The initial stages of its construction. You don't need possession because you already have your pronoun of. And we talked about how of is standing in place of possession. Since you already have of, that means there's going to be no possession. So B and C is out. Now, stages of its construction, is it going to be stages of it is construction or stages of construction that belongs to the it, to the power? The answer choice here is D. One last one. The audience was immediately amazed by the production's elaborate sets and costumes. Interesting. We have to ask ourselves a question. How many productions were there? One production or two productions? It was one production. And how many sets were there? One set or many sets? Well, it looks like sets and costumes. So we're going to immediately eliminate A and B because it was one production and many sets. And then did the sets belong to the production? They did. So production, apostrophe S, elaborate sets and costumes. I know this is not exactly about contraction, but rather from possessive case, but I really wanted to mix the two up together so that you guys can see the difference when you need to use contraction and when you need to use possession. I hope this really makes sense to you. If you wanted to practice some more, I'm going to record a separate practice set where you can practice on exclusively SAT problems or ACT problems. I'm going to go over each problem in detail and I'm going to link those videos up here. If you found this video interesting, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and remember that every time you leave a comment below this video, you get entered into the draw, monthly draw, of a person who gets a free tutoring session from me. You can find out the results on my Instagram. I usually ask somebody who's in my office on that day. I ask my clients to just randomly pick somebody who is commenting, and that person, we get in touch with you and you get a free session from me. I'll see you guys soon. Bye.